You've recited Psalm 23 more times than you can count. You've heard it in temples, at funerals, in moments of fear, and in moments of hope. But no one ever told you what I'm about to reveal today. There's a hidden word buried in the original root of this psalm, a word that completely transforms its meaning, a word erased by time. And without it, your prayer loses the power it once had when it was first written. It's no coincidence you're hearing this now. Maybe you came looking for comfort, a sign, or an answer to that emptiness that sometimes follows you even when life seems fine. But what you're about to discover isn't comfort. It's spiritual power in its purest form. For centuries, Psalm 23 has been repeated as a plea. But in its original code, it wasn't a request. It was a declaration of divine authority. In ancient Hebrew, every word carried a vibrational command to the universe. It wasn't about asking for something. It was about remembering who you are once you remember to whom you belong. That's the modern mistake. We repeat prayers we don't feel. We say, I shall not want, while deep inside, we're afraid of losing everything. We say, my cup overflows, while feeling empty and scarce. Most people recite Psalm 23 like someone searching for a miracle. But the ancients spoke it like someone who already was the miracle. What you'll hear today is not an interpretation. It's a forgotten spiritual code, one that, when activated, awakens the frequency of abundance in your subconscious mind. Because this psalm wasn't written for times of fear. It was written for times of creation, for the moments when your faith falls asleep, and you need to remind the universe that you're still here. Before we continue, ask yourself this. What if the lack I feel doesn't come from the outside, but from a mistranslation within me? Think about that. Because once you understand what this psalm truly says, you don't just change how you pray. You change the frequency from which you live, attract, and manifest. Today, I'm not going to talk to you about religion. I'm going to talk about divine energy, universal law, applied faith. As Napoleon Hill taught, thought has power only when combined with emotion and belief. That combination, thought, emotion, and faith, is what transforms a simple prayer into a code that creates reality. So get ready. You're about to hear Psalm 23 like never before, not as a prayer to ask for something, but as a key to open the flow of divine abundance that already lives within you. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. You've heard those words 1,000 times, but have you ever truly felt them vibrate inside you? This verse wasn't written to comfort the weak. It was written to awaken the Creator within. It's the most powerful affirmation ever spoken by the human soul. But the secret lies in one word, want. In Hebrew, the original phrase lo xr doesn't mean I will not want someday. It means I lack nothing right now. It's a declaration of absolute presence. Not hope, certainty. Not a promise, a reality activated. The ancients knew that the universe responds to the vibration of the present. When you say, someday I'll have, the universe hears, I don't have yet. But when you declare, I am, I have, I live it now, the quantum field reorganizes to obey your conviction. That's the science behind faith. The same truth Napoleon Hill uncovered after studying the world's most prosperous minds. He called it applied belief. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Psalm 23 said it thousands of years earlier, I lack nothing. Faith isn't asking with fear. It's declaring with certainty, even when your reality hasn't caught up yet. That's not delusion. It's spiritual law. Your subconscious mind can't tell the difference between what you imagine with emotion and what you experience with your senses. So when you repeat, I lack nothing, with active faith, your brain rewires, your energy aligns, and your world begins to shift. Try it. Place your hand on your chest. Close your eyes and say aloud, I lack nothing, not as repetition, but as revelation. Feel your breath slow down. Feel that warm calm spreading through your body. That's not suggestion. That's harmony with Source. Each time you say it from the heart, you're telling the universe, I trust. And when you trust, fear dissolves. Because lack cannot exist where faith lives. That's how silent miracles begin. Not because you ask more, but because you stop doubting. That's the forgotten code the wise always knew. Abundance isn't conquered, it's remembered. When your soul remembers it already has everything, life slowly begins to mirror that truth. I lack nothing. 3 words. 1 key. A state of consciousness where the soul no longer chases. It receives. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. At first glance, it sounds peaceful, but it's not just comfort. It's energetic instruction. The psalm reveals the sacred rhythm of creation. Action with faith. Rest with trust. We live in a culture that glorifies exhaustion. We think success equals burnout. How many hours we work, how much we suffer. But the universe doesn't reward exhaustion. It rewards harmony. In the original Hebrew, green pastures meant a place where life flourishes effortlessly. Still waters meant waters that flow without hurry, guided by divine direction. God doesn't invite you to rest, so you stop. He invites you to rest, so you can align. Only when the mind becomes still can the soul hear the instructions that noise hides. Napoleon Hill said it in his own way. The subconscious works best when the conscious mind is calm. That's the science behind creative rest. While you sleep or breathe in gratitude, your inner mind is organizing, connecting, attracting, setting up the miracles your hurry was blocking. The true creator doesn't chase results. He rests in the certainty that they're already done. Think about it. How many blessings have you missed because you got tired too soon? How many times did you force what was meant to flow? An exhausted soul can't hear intuition. And when you stop listening, you start choosing from fear. I once met a woman who worked relentlessly. She said she loved her business, but she was terrified to stop. She thought if she rested, everything would fall apart. When she learned to spend just 15 minutes a day in silence, breathing, thanking, letting go, her entire energy shifted. She didn't lose anything. She gained clarity, and in that clarity came the ideas that tripled her results. Without stress, without struggle, only synchrony. Rest isn't absence of action. It's faith in motion. When you rest and trust, you're telling God, I've done my part. Now you do yours. And he always does, because the universe responds to balance, not extremes. The seed doesn't grow when you yell at it. It grows when you cover it and let it be. Your manifestations work the same way. Do your part and then surrender. Do everything with love, then rest in certainty. Anxiety is the price of those who don't trust. Peace is the reward of those who know they're guided. And in that peace, creation begins. Rest isn't weakness. It's the secret language of those who trust. And when you trust, the universe works while you sleep. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Everyone has a valley. Some call it crisis. Others call it loss, loneliness, or sickness. It's that stretch of the journey where the light seems gone, where God's silence hurts more than any human word. But that's where the soul is forged. The psalm doesn't say if I walk through the valley. It says though I walk. It assumes it because the valley isn't the exception, it's part of the path. What separates those who fall from those who rise isn't the size of the valley. It's the faith they walk through it with. In ancient Hebrew, shadow of death meant the place where the unseen hides. It's not just physical death. It's those moments when your mind sees no way out, when your prayers seem to hit the ceiling, when fear whispers, there's no way. But even there, something sacred happens. The valley isn't punishment. It's spiritual training. God doesn't take you there to scare you. He takes you there to teach you how to see in the dark. Because only in the dark do you learn to recognize your own light. Napoleon Hill understood this during his hardest years, when he was betrayed, humiliated, forgotten. He wrote, "Every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit." That's the principle of the valley. It's not the end, it's initiation. It's not death's tunnel. It's the workshop where your faith is forged. Faith that isn't tested can't be strengthened. Every time you walk through a valley with a steady heart, you awaken what the sages called soul immunity. Fear may touch you, but it won't rule you. Pain may visit, but it won't drown you. Doubt may whisper, but it won't command you. That kind of protection can't be bought. It's forged. I once met a man who lost everything: family, business, friends. But every morning he rose and said aloud, "I will fear no evil, for you are with me." Not as someone hoping for help, but as someone already accompanied. 2 years later, he rebuilt everything. When asked how, he said, "I stopped walking in fear. I started walking with God." That is soul immunity, not denying fear, but walking through it without bowing to it. Because once you learn that, storms no longer steal your faith, they confirm it. If you're in a valley today, don't run from it. Walk. Walk with your head high. Because in that valley, you're not alone. You're being guided, molded, strengthened. And when you come out, because you won't be the same. You'll be living proof that even in darkness, light never left you. If these words lit something inside you, don't let it fade. Nothing arrives by accident. This message found you because your soul asked for it. You're inside the Napoleon inspires, a sanctuary where faith becomes action and thought becomes creative power. Subscribe and join this journey of awakening. Leave a like if your heart resonated with this truth. And share this video with someone who needs to remember. Even in the valley, the light never goes out. Type in the comments, "I lack nothing." Make that phrase your prayer, your decree, your covenant with divine abundance. Because when two souls declare in faith, heaven listens and responds. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. This verse isn't about revenge, it's about manifestation. God doesn't promise to remove your enemies. He promises to bless you right in front of them. Because real victory doesn't shout, it shines. In the ancient East, to prepare a table before your enemies was the highest symbol of divine protection and power. Only a soul that fully trusts God can eat in peace while others conspire. Not everyone who attacks you does it out of evil. Some do it because your light reminds them of their own darkness. That's the sacred message of Psalm 23. God doesn't hide you from conflict. He elevates you above it. Napoleon Hill said it differently. True success needs no defense. Its presence is its proof. So when the universe sets your table, it's not to feed your pride. It's to strengthen your purpose. Every rejection, every obstacle, every critic, they're all part of the banquet. Because without opposition, there's no expansion. I once knew a woman everyone doubted. They called her naive, unrealistic, a dreamer. She stayed silent, persistent, guided by an invisible certainty. When she finally launched her own project, those who mocked her started asking for her advice. Then she understood. God didn't remove my enemies. He sat them at my table. That's what the universe does for those who trust. It doesn't hide you. It displays you as living proof of what happens when a soul stops fighting and starts vibrating in purpose. Ask yourself honestly, who are you still trying to prove yourself to? Who are you giving your peace to just to be right? Let life speak for you. Because when faith cooks, victory serves itself. There's an ancient saying, light doesn't argue with darkness, it simply dissolves it. Every time you choose peace, even when you're attacked, judged, or betrayed, you're telling the universe, I trust that my table is already set. And God fulfills it always. Because blessings don't come after the battle. They come during it. And once you understand that, your soul stops defending and starts blooming. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Your cup doesn't overflow when you have more. It overflows when you stop holding back. Abundance isn't conquered, it's allowed. The oil represents anointing, divine purpose. When God anoints your head, He marks your mind with a divine idea, a sacred mission in creation. But that mission blooms only when you learn to surrender control. For years we thought faith was force, that it meant fighting, pushing, clenching our teeth. But mature faith doesn't clench, it releases. It doesn't shout, do it. It whispers, I trust. Napoleon Hill described it perfectly. There comes a point when a man stops pushing at closed doors and starts walking toward the ones already open. That's the overflowing cup, not a sudden miracle, but the result of surrender. When your soul no longer fears losing, your life begins to flow. Because the one who fears loss blocks the flow, but the one who surrenders becomes the channel. Think about it. How many blessings have you blocked trying to control everything? How many opportunities never came because fear guarded the door? The universe doesn't work under pressure. It works under trust. An anxious mind says, "What if it doesn't work?" A surrendered mind says, "It's already done." That's the difference between waiting for the miracle and living it. Your cup overflows when you trust that the source is infinite. When you stop drinking in fear and start sharing in faith, knowing it will never run out. That's the highest alchemy of faith. To give without fear, to release without losing, to trust without seeing. And when you reach that state, life rewards you with an abundance that no longer fits inside you, because you've learned to flow with the all. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. This line hides an almost unbelievable truth. It doesn't say you'll chase goodness. It says goodness will chase you. In Hebrew, the word yurdafuni means to pursue with determination. The same word used when a lion hunts its prey. Except here, the hunter is the blessing. Imagine that. Miracles, opportunities, and divine alignments chasing you, drawn to your frequency of faith like a signal of light in the desert. When you live this way, you stop running, stop begging, stop competing, and start attracting. But there's one condition. Goodness can only pursue the one who doesn't hide from themselves. When you live in guilt, fear, or doubt, you hide from the very vibration that's trying to find you. It's not that the blessing doesn't exist. It's that it can't reach you while you're hiding behind lack. Napoleon Hill said it best. Success is not pursued. It's attracted by the person you become. When you think with faith, speak with gratitude, and act from certainty, you become a magnet for good, and the obedient universe locates you. I once met a man who proved it. After losing his job, he stopped searching in desperation. Every morning he declared, "Opportunities are looking for me." One day, in the most unexpected place, he met the person who became his business partner, and it changed his life forever. He didn't chase the opportunity found him. That's the power of vibrating in certainty. When your frequency is faith, goodness and mercy don't walk, they run toward you. That's why the psalm doesn't say some days. It says all the days of my life. It's not a temporary blessing. It's a continuous flow. Even when you think you've lost it, it's still moving beside you. Maybe today you feel like life has turned its back on you, but it hasn't. It's just rearranging the path so it can meet you at the perfect moment. Because God's goodness never gives up. It surrounds you, follows you, and when you finally slow down, it catches you. And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. For centuries, people saw this as a promise of heaven after death. But the real secret isn't in the future, it's in the now. In Hebrew, Beit Adonai doesn't mean a physical temple. It means a state of consciousness, a space within where the soul lives in constant connection with Source. To dwell doesn't mean to visit occasionally. It means to live there. The psalm reveals that heaven isn't a place you reach when you die. It's a frequency you access when you awaken, when your mind aligns with peace, when your heart vibrates with gratitude, when your spirit recognizes it's guided. You're already in the house of the Lord. That's true prosperity, not depending on the external, but living in communion with the eternal. Those who dwell there don't fear lack, don't rush time, don't chase love or beg for approval. They simply are, and in that being, everything aligns. Napoleon Hill said it from another angle. When a mind is fixed upon a definite purpose, life aligns with mathematical precision. That alignment is dwelling in the house of the Lord. It's not religion, it's vibration. It's living each day knowing you're not separate from the power that created you. Each thought is a key, each emotion a door. Imagine a house of light inside your soul. No walls, no roof, no fear. Just peace, gratitude, purpose. That's where the awakened ones live. The ones who no longer search for signs. Because they're the sign. If you made it this far, it's not a coincidence. Your soul was ready to remember what it always knew. Faith isn't begged for, it's declared. Abundance isn't searched for, it's inhabited. And God never left. He was waiting for you to listen again. Today, Psalm 23 stops being a repeated prayer and becomes a living code inside you. Every word spoken with faith becomes an open door. Every act guided by love becomes a moving miracle. Replay this message until your mind believes it and your heart feels it as truth. Because when that happens, your whole life will respond with light. And always remember, the Lord is my shepherd, and I lack nothing. That's your new frequency, your new home, your new reality. If this message resonated in your soul, don't ignore it. Nothing in the universe is coincidence. Every encounter is divine timing. You're inside Napoleon Inspires, a space where faith becomes action and the mind learns to create with God. Subscribe and join this community of awakened souls walking with purpose. Leave a like as a seed of gratitude. Share this message so another heart can find its way. And write in the comments, "My faith guides me, and I lack nothing." Do it not out of habit, but as conviction, because every word of faith is a command the universe obeys.